Welcome to another Crockpot Wednesday, and today we're going to make a recipe called South of the Border Macaroni and Cheese. It comes to you by this little cookbook. It's called the Rivel Crockpot Slow Cooker Recipes. It's just a tiny little cookbook. The other day, my family were over for a meal, and my children bought my husband and I a very good New York strip steak. As you know, that is real expensive meat. So today, we're going to have the Crockpot macaroni and cheese, and we're going to have some steak, which I'm going to show you. At the end of this video, I also will share with you the recipe. I bet you're wondering, well, what all is this? I am in the middle of canning all day today. Yesterday, I cut up and peeled a bushel of apples, and today I'm making a quadruple recipe of my apple pie filling, which I will share with you in a video this weekend. So, it's a busy day for Tessie. It's a 12-hour day in the kitchen. So, let's get started on our crockpot meal. Alright, so the first thing it calls for is 5 cups of rotini noodles that are cooked. As you see, I don't have the rotini, I have the medium-sized shells. And this was what was in my food storage, and so this is what I'm going to use. It also calls for 2 cups of American cheese. Since I'm not buying anything, I have to use the cheese that I have. I like this is because it's canned and it has a long shelf value. So I didn't have any American cheese. I'm going to substitute a little bit of this. It says 2 cups of cubed cheese. I'm just going to go with that route. But I will share with you the exact recipe at the end of the video. And then it calls for 1 can, 12 ounces of some evaporated milk. Now we want to stir this and add the milk slowly. We don't want to curdle the milk because we're adding it to hot noodles. And sometimes it can make the milk curdle. To that we're going to add 1 can of the green chilies, and I got this at the Dollar Tree. You could probably get it cheaper at Walmart, but I happened to go to the Dollar Tree because I had the gift card. And then it calls for 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. I'm going to estimate about 1 cup. That's a little bit generous. Now everything we add except for the tomatoes get added at the end. And it calls for green onions, which I do not have. Then it calls for 2 teaspoons of chili powder. And we'll add that of the chili powder. That's a lot of chili powder, but that's what it calls for. Now, if you don't like the Mexican flair to it, you could just make this without all of that. Alright, so that is how it looks, and you're supposed to cook it on high for 2 hours. And then you're going to add some tomatoes. It's preferably a fresh tomato cut up, but I have some canned tomatoes, and I'll cut a couple of them up and use that as well. About using what you have, and so while it's not exactly like the recipe, sometimes the best recipes are using the ingredients that you have. Cooks really don't follow the recipe to the exact T, and I think it's fun when you can improvise and use things that you have. It makes sense money-wise, and also it just brings a little bit of a different flavor to it. Every cook can make the same recipe, but it always turns out different. So I'll get back to you when the noodles are done and we have the steak done, and I'll show you what it looks like. I'm in the middle of canning now 24 quarts of apple pie filling. I got half of it done and I'm halfway to go. So it's a busy day here on the homestead. Everyone, the mac and cheese is finished. And now all I have to do is put in a little bit of the tomatoes at the very end. And this is what it looks like. It's really, really good. So let's go ahead and we'll add just a little bit of our tomatoes. It's going to take a little bit of my stewed tomatoes. Now it does call for fresh, but I didn't have the fresh. So we're just going to go ahead and put a little bit of these stewed tomatoes in. And we're going to give it a good stir. So here's my steak and some peas, and here is the mac and cheese. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you give some of this macaroni and cheese a try because it's really different. It has a little bit of that Southwest flavor, and it's a comfort food all in one. Take care, everyone. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
diary, we're on January 9th, 1943. Today was cloudy with some snow flurries. I made some mincemeat and baked a cake.